Is the frequency in use? No, it's not. I've been listening for a while. This is K4PEW net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex radio net. If you have an emergency, call 911. And if you can't do that, tell us and we'll call it for you. Just make sure to give us your address. And that may be broken at any time for that. For information on the net, you can go to YouTube right now and see the display on my radio. You can see your signal strength relative to others. You can also listen to stations you might not otherwise hear. You can also go back later and listen to your own signals on the air to figure out how good you sound or how bad you sound. And then you can fix it. You can also go to Facebook right now and you'll see me. You won't see the radio. You'll just see me. So I look fairly presentable today. That's at Facebook, Mount Juliet, Mount Juliet, MT, or Mount MOUNT, Simplexton Net. It'll be there. Also, you can go to 146415.net and for information on Simplex mostly. And also, it's groups.io, MJSS, put that in their search block, MJSS, Mount Juliet Simplex Society. And you can, well, you don't need, that's where you'll find the net schedule. You'll also see you can sign up for the email system, which is a great place to trade technical information, and you also get reminders about our nets and plus some other nets in the area. Well, we normally meet at 8 p.m., which we normally do, or abnormally do, 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday nights. And tonight is our big night, so to speak. It's our cavalcade of nets. We started at 7 o'clock with a DMR net. 146.460, and then at 7:15 we went over to a D-Star net at same frequency, 146.460, and then we moved over to D-Star net, C4FM net, Yesu's Fusion net at 7:30 on 146.460, and we've been doing that now for a couple of years. I think we're the only people doing any of those nets on Simplex. Well, there may be others. I don't know who they are. Doesn't matter. We're doing them. We're here to purpose of the net is to have fun, figure out what's going on and what's not going on, and how well your station works. Really, that's what the key to this is. I think there's probably a lot of stations. I don't know how many stations listen or intermittently listen to our nets to figure out how good their antennas are working, and who they can hear, who they can't hear. And that's the reason I always announce where people are to the net. If they tell me, I always announce their call sign and where they're calling from. So it gives people who are listening a chance to understand how well their system's working. As you know, this isn't a repeater. And tomorrow night is the Sunday night, which is 7:30 p.m. the mid-10 phone net done by Michael KM4YRF. That's on 28.415, 28.415 upper sideband, and then he moves over to 29.415 up FM, and then on to 223.415 upper sideband. I'm sorry, 223.415 on FM, not upper sideband. Also tonight, I didn't mention, we're going to be here on 146.415 and then moving over to 144.240 upper sideband, and then to 50.135 upper sideband on 6 meters, and then to 223.415 FM. So we hope to see you on all those if you're able. If not, you can buy a radio, but it's not going to get at your house for a few days. Is there any other announcements? All righty, we have, this is the 20th of April, and this is net number 996. We'll be starting from the north, but first we'll be taking check-ins on from people short on time, mobile, or first-time check-in. So we're going to do that now. Who we got on those three categories?
KD4GON.
KD4GON. Danny, you're doing all right, man. You are on a roll.
I know it. I was sitting here. I was about to fall asleep.
Yeah, I was doing that a little earlier this evening. You give me a dinner, man, I'm ready to go to sleep.
Yeah, we went had Mexican at a new restaurant over here at Long Haul Price, and come home and I started nodding.
Yeah, well, I should know better. Anytime I eat a big meal, it always gets me.
Yeah. All right. Well, you have a good evening, and I'll try to catch another one here.
Very good. Good to have you in there, Danny. That's Danny from adjacent to Cotton Town. That's Kilo Delta 4 Golf Oscar November. A good signal, by the way. A little noisy in there tonight. I didn't hear that earlier, but a little bit of noise on the signal. But a full copy and about an S7 or S8 signal strength. Who else is short on time mobile or first time checking?
Hey, Paul, KB9 OCD.
Hey, you're going to stay up long enough to do the 223 net?
I'll try. I got to go in and check on a boss, but I can be back.
All right, that'll be great. Yeah, buzz your son-in-law too.
I don't know where he's at this day.
All right, very good. Hope to hear you later. That was Greg at Kilo Bravo 9, Oscar Charlie Delta. And he's up in Pleasant View, is that right?
Very good, Paul. Very good. Pleasant View it is.
Oh man, see my dementia just comes and goes, you know.
I know that's right. Have a good evening, Paul. Thank you for doing what you're doing, and I will be checking in later. KB9 OCD back to net.
Very good. That's Greg. Pleasant View, Kilo Bravo 9. Well, just 1 kilo. Kilo Bravo 9, Oscar Charlie Delta. Who else is short on time mobile or first time checking? All righty, well, then we're going to start from the north, looking for check-ins. Please come in.
WB0NLO, Northwest Wilson.
Very good. You sound real good there, Mark.
Well, thank you. You sound good. So far, everybody sounds good.
Yeah, well, when signals are good, everybody's in that mutual admiration society, aren't they?
Yep, they are. And I actually got checked in on D-Star tonight.
Oh yeah, I heard that. I don't know if I heard you because I heard somebody else check you in, but I don't think I heard you.
Well, you may not have. I think Jack checked me in.
That's funny that Jack could hear you, but I couldn't. Are you using, how much power do you have on D-Star? You've got that on that icon machine, don't you?
Yeah, it's plenty of power, 100 watts.
Well, I don't know, maybe you doubled it with somebody. It's hard to believe I couldn't hear that.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. But anyway, carry on. I'll be listening.
Very good. That's Mark in Northwest Wilson, Whiskey Bravo 0, November, Oscar. Who else north?
KB9 RKK.
Hello, Frank. What's going on over your woods?
Glad to be back in Tennessee. Just came back yesterday from Florida.
Oh yeah, the land of the free and the crazy.
Oh, there's plenty of that.
Oh, you didn't run into any problems, did you?
Just traffic on the way back. Yeah, Atlanta is always terrible, but it was shut down, and then Chattanooga was messed up. I ended up taking back roads over the back part of southern part of Outlook Mountain, yeah, because it was just crazy. And every time we try to go that way, it's bad.
I gotcha. Yeah, Florida is funny. My wife asked me that because she knew I lived in Florida for 37 years, and she goes, "Why is it all the crazy stuff happens in Florida?" I go, "Well, it's the third largest state in the nation, number one. It kind of ranks. California's got crazier people. Florida's just got every brand of whoever's from Chicago over to Boston and everybody who lived up in the northern states, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Those are the ones that retire there, or the ones who just move down there to work, because the other states stink."
Yeah. No, it was the driving is horrible. I guess stop signs. Red lights are optional. Turn signals definitely optional, but I'm used to that. But yeah, it was crazy. There was your typical, like you see in it. Every area has them, but some of the stuff, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I'm sure you go to any big city, but when we were, down there, they're talking about, they had like a segment on what stupid crooks do or stupid people do, and some crazy lady called the police because she was upset that she thinks that the meth she bought was low quality and wanted them to test it.
Well, there's no accounting for some people. Yeah, that just sounds so stupid, doesn't it?
Yeah, And then there's some other one, some other person, the big story that was actually on all the news. And this one, I think they're playing games. Some guy with a unique car, it's like a green Lexus. It's the only one registered in the entire state of Florida. Was been involved in a few shootings, and he's using a 10 millimeter, which is very odd. So it's like, I think, like almost intensive, like, all right, try to get me.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, it was like, well, what you do is you were still on the West Coast, right? On over there north of Pinellas County. Is that where you were?
I was actually in Ocala, but this was happening in Orlando, I think. And then, because that's the station they were getting on the TV over there. But, I guess it's just, it's everywhere. You go to any big city, any big area, you're going to find crazy people. But it's just like, my God, so that one must be playing like, hey, try to catch me because I'm stupid. And the other one was like, well, I have no explanation for the other one.
Yeah, well, that's what that's it. I always found it funny when they started that Florida man stories. Another Florida man.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, otherwise it was good to see, good to see my mom and dad and my sister and my nieces and everything. So that was cool. Spent pretty much the whole week there. My brother, went with me. He just left this morning. He made it back to Chicago in time, on good, not too late and everything. And so everything went good. Um, I'm glad it was a little cool today. I don't know, bunch of QSO parties going on today, but I missed all of them because I've been, as usual, busy and we got stuff going on and, that kind of stuff. As they say, was it life is what gets in the way of all your plans.
Yeah, oh, it does. No, that's what's funny about Florida. After I lived there for a while, I was trying to figure out why in the world do people retire there.
Well, I think it's because of the weather and somewhat the cost. It's they're having a record heat in Ocala. It was 90 degrees already. So yikes. I'm like, I can't. I don't think I can handle that.
Oh, I don't know. You get used to it. I lived there, like I said, a long time. But it's just like it's whatever you get used to. I mean, it gets hot here too. The first year I was here, the first June I was here, it was 105. I said, why did I move here again?
Yeah, that's the same thing that happened to us. We went outside. It was June actually, June 30th, and all we heard was air conditioners and dead silence. I was like, no kids. We're like, man, it's hot out here.
Yeah, no, it's just interesting because the South is, everywhere in the South is a lot warmer than people in the North. And people in the North, I was just listening to somebody on the web yesterday. She says, a gal moved to Maine, and she says, it gets hot here too once in a while, a couple of days here and there. Which, if you've ever lived up north, you know what she's talking about. She goes, a lot of homes don't have air conditioning, so it really feels hot.
Yeah, and you understand it if you go to Europe in the summer where they don't even Germany you don't think it's hot, but it does get hot, not as hot as here obviously, but they don't traditionally use air conditioners, so you're like, oh God, yeah, it makes me not complain so much about work over here.
Yeah, very good. Anything else for the net, Frank? Sounds like you had a busy couple of weeks.
No, nothing. Just everything's good. Yeah, thanks for doing it. And yeah, I'm just glad to be here and making it back. Turn it back over to you. KB9 or KK.
Very good. That's Frank. He's in Northwest Mount Juliet. Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo Kilo. Who else? Big signal too, but then I'm very close. Who else is north? I was expecting Carlin to jump in there. He must have fell asleep. He was on the air earlier. Who else is west?
KO4 OTV.
Very good. How you doing there, Joel?
Pretty good, Paul. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing dandy. It really was a nice day today. Today was the best. It was sunny and just slightly cool, and it was great.
Well, I can tell you it's not a lot better than it did earlier in the week. It's in the 80s. It's just too early for that.
Yeah, no. It's funny. I lived in Florida a long time, and it's really not that bad. In the evening, it doesn't get bad. It's just like it's often very humid. But here, it is better than Florida usually most of the time in the summer here. I mean, I got to say, Florida can be brutal.
Oh, no question about it. My dad, he lives down in Hattiesburg, and I've been down to Galveston Island and all those areas by the Gulf, and it is by far miserable. I mean, it's way worse there. But I remember working down in Houston one time and walking outside at 5:30 in the morning. I'm just standing there in clothes, not even moving, and I was just drenched. It was crazy how the humidity there was just it's repulsive.
Yeah, it's really unavoidable. It's particularly when it's so funny when it'll be pouring down rain in the afternoon. As soon as the rain stops and the big clouds leave, and then the sun comes out, and it's like, okay, let's evaporate all that water and put it into the atmosphere.
Oh yeah, and it happens every afternoon down there.
I know it's believe me. I laugh when I think about it because you just get used to it. I get used to putting a dress shirt on and a tie and going out. By the time I got to my car from the house, I was already sweating.
Oh yeah, I don't know how in the heck anybody wears a suit and tie to work down there, and I have to carry an extra, pair of socks and everything. I mean, it's insane how bad it is. I remember wearing long pants and a t-shirt, and I thought I was gonna die.
Yep, yep. I learned when I moved down there in '73. I was used to, I worked construction up in New England, and then I moved to Florida, and I was used to wearing. And when you grow up north in the northern climate, which you might remember, you're always wearing a t-shirt, especially in the winter, in the fall, winter, spring. You're wearing a t-shirt and then a regular shirt, and sometimes a short sleeve shirt. And so I was wearing a t-shirt. The first day it started to get warm, didn't know it was going to get that warm. I was wearing a t-shirt and a shirt on top of that, like a work shirt. Man, that thing came off so fast, made people's heads spin.
Oh yeah, yeah. We used to do a lot of work down there, man, in the Gulf. Man, I tell you, from working up here, or working in Alaska even, or any of the other places that I've been out in the Midwest where it was just constant wind. I could just never get used to the humidity for some reason, man. I hate summertime. It really takes its toll.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things. If you're living in that kind of a climate, you learn to expect it, and I didn't care for it much, but I lived there for 37 years. I guess it just makes me crazy.
Yeah. Well, at least your winters were nice.
Yeah, they were okay. I mean, they were generally dry, and it was like here, you don't have to mow the lawn, but you kind of miss all the other stuff, the other winter stuff that goes on in the more northern climate where you can do sledding, skiing, and ice skating, and there's all kinds of winter things that go on, especially as a kid. There's a lot more you can do a lot outside in the winter where you get relating to winter stuff. But here, I just don't see kids playing outside anymore. I guess that might be true up in New England too.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother story there. They're always glued to their screens.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they got 700 friends per person.
They talk to two.
Yeah, I know. And I talked to this professor at this junior college up in where I lived in Niagara Falls. And this was long ago. That was 2011. So here we are. That's 13 years ago. And she said, you see the kids walking around here, 17, 18, 19-year-olds in a junior college. She goes, you see them walking around talking to all their friends, and they haven't met any of them.
It really is truly amazing how much everybody is so dependent on their phones, and I just think it's like Satan in your pocket in so many ways. But at the same time, it's a very handy tool to have. But man, I tell you, that social media, man, is anything but. It's just I don't know. It's just a platform just to argue anymore, and just everybody hate each other. It's amazing what goes on in there.
Well, it's no different than a PC or a laptop, and just that it's convenient, and it's really but if you're using it for the right things, otherwise it becomes a huge distraction if you're really because it's young people who are doing it mostly. I think making sure you get likes and talking to all your buddies on TikTok and all those other. I don't even know what they all are. What's a app? I like that one. What's a app? What I'm getting. There's all kinds of stuff, and it's just such a huge distraction. When they probably should be reading books.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you probably the libraries nowadays, unless you're on a campus or something, are probably mostly empty these days.
Well, I tell you what, that's the one thing that the internet did over the years is that connection to libraries. If you're a researcher, or if you're doing research like for a paper in college, I don't know, because otherwise I'm not sure how I had access to that. But I guess it would be. I don't. There must be ways to do it if you're not in a college. But when I was in college taking college courses, that's 12 years ago. I had access to every major university in the country, their library, what was digitally on it, and it was unfathomable. And plus the Library of Congress and some other, and then libraries around the world of major. And that is, I don't mean just books. It's also all their research papers of all over the world. And it just blew me away.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, the power of the internet is very amazing if you're using it in the right way. No question about it. It's very impressive, actually, to have all the information just on the tip of your finger there in the world. But yeah, technology is something, man. I see it every day. I'm in that industry, so I know what it's like. But I won't keep it, Paul, man. I'm let y'all have at it, and I'll see you over on the next one. KO4 OTB.
Very good. That's Joel. He's over in the west of Ashland City. Good signal. Kilo Oscar for Oscar Tango Victor. Who else is west?
Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo.
Hello, Greg. I'm amazed that we couldn't hear each other. Not you, but there was people who, like Tony. I got to ask him if he's on the air, why he couldn't hear me.
Yeah, I think conditions were a little weird too. I normally can hear Charles, but I couldn't hear him.
No, I just barely heard him. So yeah, there was something going on.
Yeah, the amazing thing is I was in sales when cell phones became popular. When I started, none of us had them, and I had to listen to a lot of BS all day long as you waited your turn in this up system. And man, as soon as I got a phone and can get on the Google and research and quickly look up some BS somebody was spouting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, like I said, used for the right purposes, it's great. But the difficulty that I think a lot of people have right now, and they haven't ever really addressed it, and that besides what's on TikTok. TikTok is actually, I've seen pieces off of TikTok. Some of the stuff on there some of the stuff people, and I just see it once in a great while. Some things on TikTok get published over on Facebook or on YouTube, so it's coming from TikTok. And it's just disgusting stuff by young people. I mean, it's not even nudity or pornography. It's the way they talk is downright disgusting. Anyway, I was going to say, used for the right purposes, it's great, but children now have access to porn. If you get a cell phone at 5 years old, you can look at porn. There's nothing stopping them.
I'm sure it would have stopped me.
You say it would have stopped you?
Probably not.
No, we didn't. We didn't. I'll tell you about it some other time. Porn was pretty limited when I was a kid. Pretty limited. Not that I was looking for it, because I wouldn't know where to even find it. I remember somebody else, an older kid had it, and I was like, "What the heck is that?" Anyway, anything else for that, Greg?
Not much. Getting over some sort of virus. I can't swear it's not COVID, even though I tested negative, but it's kind of an old test kit, and it's not impossible to test negative. Anyway, not too bad. Getting well quick.
Oh, very good. Glad to hear it. That was Greg, Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. He's in Antioch. Who else is Wes?
Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor.
You were the check-in king over there on D-Star today.
Man, I can hear everybody tonight, and I'm glad I got Mark in there. At first, it's like, that's Mark. It was nice and clear.
No, there's a joke in there, and I can't. Well, there's an old joke, and I'm not saying I heard it because it wasn't my joke, but the joke was about Mark, not about this Mark, but it was the guy walking down a dark street, and he kept hearing somebody calling the name Mark out to him. It's Mark. And the guy keeps walking, and he looks at, can't see what's going on. Why would somebody be calling? My name is not Mark. And they get up in a street light. He finally looks, and there was a hair-lipped dog behind him.
Oh, you were talking about libraries. I was thinking about encyclopedias earlier today. It's like, I wonder if anybody still has encyclopedias, because they're like boat anchors.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my encyclopedia that my parents bought me in about 1960 is still up in the attic, because that's where it ended up.
Tool, like the internet is a tool. You can abuse it or you can use it. So it's just up to you however you want to handle it.
Yeah, there was a double. And was that you, Greg?
Yeah, I was asking Jack, did you have the big hutch that you had to have to display those?
No, actually, I had an old set that was my mother's when she was growing up, and so everything was dated in it pretty much. And we just had them stacked on the floor.
Yeah, we had this dedicated hut anyway. But yeah, it was the internet of the day.
Yeah, ours was ours was actually a coffee table with the books were in each end, with the and you could see them. You could see the titles of each of them on each of the, A through whatever on each of, M through R or whatever that was. But then it also had a annual supplement that got issued, a hardcover supplement that you had that went with it.
Yeah, I remember those.
Weird. Anyway, that's stuff in the attic too. I don't know why they don't just throw that stuff out.
That's yard sale material. Somebody will want it.
I guess. I still remember though looking through that stinking encyclopedia. My favorite, I say favorite, the part I remember the most, mine had, I'll say cellophane. I don't know, it was the plastic pages. They were actually like layered like the human body and all the organs and bones that you could, every time you turn a page over, you could see, through it to see the human body.
Oh yeah, those transparencies. Those were cool.
Yeah, no, that's what I remember the most about it. I remember some of the other stuff, but the problem is you had to be a not a translator, wouldn't be the right word, but doing a book report or doing a report on something you found in the encyclopedia, you had to learn a way to rewrite it so it didn't sound like the encyclopedia.
Yeah, you didn't want to plagiarize. Also, the good books that you needed for your research papers were the ones in the library you couldn't take home. You had to get them there.
Yeah, exactly. You know how they do that now in universities, Jack?
How they do that?
If you submit your document, and I'm pretty sure they'll do it with paper, or because most of the papers I had submitted then were electronic, just an electronic format, and they would just submit those to a common. They have a service they use, and they submit those, and it'll tell you if you plagiarized anything.
In college, I did find out that my library had records. They had LPs, and you could check those out like books. And I wore those out. I heard a lot of jazz that I wouldn't have been able to afford.
Oh, absolutely. I remember those too. I don't know if the libraries still do that or not. I think it's got to be all digital now.
Yeah, probably. Well, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for doing the net, Paul. KG4ILV.
Yeah, very good. That was Jack. Yeah, Jack filled in kind of 50% of the D-Star net was Jack doing relays. Kilo Golf 4 India Lima. By the way, we do the D-Star net at 7:15 on Saturdays at 7:15 p.m. Who else is it, West?
KC4T here.
Hey, were you hearing everybody today there, Charles?
I didn't get on any other nets. This was the first one.
Okay, so you weren't there for that. I could have sworn I heard your voice, but it was very poor conditions tonight for that for a couple of digital nets.
No, I was working on a project and I didn't stop until it got dark, and so then that's when I come on in here.
Okay, no, very good, very good. I'm just thought I heard you in there. So how are you doing? All right?
Yeah, everything's fine. Had to work this morning and come home, ate lunch, took a nap, and then could go here and mow grass.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed mowing the lawn today. Wasn't that nice?
Yeah, it was cool, a little breezy, but it's kind of turned off downright cold right now.
My wife actually told me today, this afternoon, I had the screen open on the back door. And so she says, I closed the screen on the back door. This was about 4:30. I go, okay, all right. She goes, well, because the air conditioning's on. I go, if you'll notice, the air conditioning's not running because the outside air temperature's around 60 something.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, yesterday they gave me the work for this morning, and because I was kind of planning on going to get me some tomato plants and pepper plants and putting them out this weekend, but then I looked on a thing on the weather app that they called for a chance of some frost Monday night or Sunday night, one or the other. I can't remember now, but I said, well, I guess that nixes that.
Wow, I wouldn't expect there to be a frost this late. That's awesome. Well, not awesome. It's actually bad for people who've got. Jack, did you hear that about a frost?
Yeah, it's tonight and tomorrow night, and it's let's see, it's not blackberry winter. It's some plant they call like a late cold snap.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's not going to affect too many plants, I wouldn't imagine, because it's not going to get that cold, is it?
They were saying in in the upper 30s.
Huh. Oh well. Won't be so bad. I'm amazed though that it changed so quickly because it was warm and all of a sudden it got cold again. Anyway, that was Charles. Well, that was Jack right there, KG4 ILB. But Charles was check-in, Kilo Charlie 4 Tango November Quebec. Who else is west? To the south.
KF4QQ.
Tony, could you not hear me when I was on whatever I was on DMR?
I couldn't hear a word. I even opened it. Well, I take it back. I could open the squelch up, and he would pop in and out about every other word.
Yeah, because I could hear you loudly. I mean, it was just as I hear you now, perfectly.
Well, see, to me, coming back, you've got a lot of salt on your signal.
Yeah, there's something going on in the atmosphere, I guess.
And I think he's talking about
I'm hearing another station in there. Do you hear it, Tony?
No, I do.
Yeah, is there somebody? It sounds like they're far away then.
Yeah,
Well, that's wild. Well, it's not unusual. I mean, people can get on the frequency. They just might not hear us. I don't know. That sounded weird. Weird conditions coming in, maybe because of that cold weather. Do hear somebody talking, but I don't think they can hear me. Anybody see? You still hear that, Michael?
Yep.
Is it still going on?
Not at the moment.
Maybe there's some ducting going on, and they just don't hear us.
Well, I guess that's possible.
I heard a guy today who was just traveling through the area from Hendersonville and where is that? South Carolina. And he was just traveling through, and he jumped on the frequency, and I heard him call out, and I said, "What brought you to the frequency?" And he goes, "I saw a guy with a license with a on his bumper sticker. He had I monitor 146.415." I go, "Wonder who that was."
Well, jump on the internet and get one of those side hustle companies to come out and clean the dust for you.
Yeah, that I can do. Anyway, everything your trip went without real serious problems, Tony?
Oh yeah, well you read all about it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, sure did. Yeah, some nice pictures. That cathedral was something else, man. That I can't imagine how much money that was in that particular building.
Yeah, they sunk a little in there, and the pictures don't do it justice. I mean, it is. You can't quite get the size of it just from the pictures. It's just the volume of the thing. I mean, the ceiling from the floor to the ceiling is probably 150 feet.
Oh boy. Oh, very nice. It's got that. I don't know what they call that particular architecture. You know, with those I don't know what to call it. You know, the way that they that to like in the archways that go up and meet to a kind of a point. You know, in almost like an almond shaped point.
Isn't that a flying buttress?
I guess. I don't know. Don't be telling me about your girlfriend, okay?
Yeah, all right.
Anyway, but I'm glad it all went well for you.
Yeah, we're tired.
Yeah, riding the bus is tiring anyway.
Yeah, but you know, Georgia laid out plenty of orange barrels and cones so we could find our way home.
Yeah. Well, at least you were in an air-conditioned bus and you didn't have to drive.
That is true.
Very good. Anything else for the net, Tony?
No, that'll do it.
All right, that was Tony. Kilo Foxtrot 4, Kilo Foxtrot, Quebec, and Smyrna. Who else is west or south?
K3 and PR finally.
There was 2 or so in there, but I heard Michael in there. How you doing, Mike?
Doing good. I'm making too many nets. I'm trying to make up for that. Stay busy doing that online.
Cool. That's still pretty busy?
I'm blown away now. I mean, it's holy mackerel. They did 16 yesterday from Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and then I mean, it's just usually you get to work with 4 to 8 people typically.
I wonder if there really is a lot more people getting licensed. I would expect we'd be able to see that in the numbers.
Well, I think there's a lot more because it's more convenient with doing electronically because you don't have to wait for a meeting someplace.
then I think a lot of people are kind of worried that something's going to happen, and they wanted an alternate communication possibility. And I know some of the college students that are taking engineering and stuff like that are I guess having a Hamlet license is mandatory.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, I'm glad it's that busy. Though. I really am. It's nice to see a lot of activity.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's interesting to watch some of these people test and others. That, you can definitely tell who studied and prepared and who has.
Yeah, that's true. I was I may have I know I've said it before in the year when I accidentally took the test by the sense that I had read about just a third or a half of the technician book and trying to get a feel for what it was required. And then I went on somebody's hospital, the chief engineer, they had a club there, and I walked in. He goes, "Hey, you told me you were thinking about being a ham." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You want to take the test?" I go, "No, I don't want to take it." He says, "No, I take it." I said, I'm only halfway through the book." "Yeah, take it. It's not going to hurt you." I took it. I passed. I have no idea. I didn't want to ask what I got.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is, we let them know what they got for a while. When they do the exit briefing with the person that's in there, you ask them, they'll actually tell you which one you missed.
Oh, that's cool. It's probably better that way too, so you get a better idea what you're missing if it's important.
Definitely. But, I think one of the clubs has got a guy that's fourth or fifth time trying to get his schedule.
Well, that's going to have some people are very bad at taking tests, and one of the problems with I don't know since I haven't taken a general test in almost 2 decades. Oh, it is about 2 decades. I don't know how because I didn't think the general was that much more complex than the technician. It's when you got the extra that you go, okay, now we got to study a lot.
Yeah, definitely the difference is that, for grits, you can always go on and study, and it's free. It's run free one.
Oh yeah, no, I was just intrigued by that. I did study a lot, though, both for the general and for all of them. Well, for technician, I didn't study much because like I said, I didn't. But the general and the extra, I studied to make sure I was going to pass it the first time.
Definitely. But on the antenna side of things, I got one of the Mad Dog coils that failed today from Australia. It's only a 40 through 10 coil, but you can always adapt a few things and turn it into an 80 through 10. But kind of neat. Smaller than what I thought it would be. I can't wait to get a few more components and get it on the air.
How you're talking about one of those? What diameter is that coil?
The coil itself is probably not much more than 2 inches, if that.
And wait a minute, maybe I'm thinking of something else. What kind of an antenna is it?
I mean, it's like a Wolf River coil, but it's on a smaller scale. I think it's kind of better, built better.
Huh. Yeah, and the name of it is what? Mad Dog what?
Mad Dog coil.
All right, I'll give it a try. I'll have to look that up. I don't think I'm not familiar with that one at all. But it works pretty good.
Well, I'll find out here as soon as I get a few more components in. But we're Wolf River are probably able to do 300. This one's 100 for the 40 through 10 and 109 for the 80 through or 129 for the 80 through 10.
Huh. All righty, I'll look it up. Anything else for that, Michael?
No, that's it. Just hope everybody had a good week. And go check that weather that you guys mentioned to change the frost. You just did a whole lot of planting. But that's back to you, Paul. Take care, and everybody else enjoy.
Yep, glad you can make the net, Mike. That's Kilo 3 Mike Papa Romeo. He's over here east of Providence, south Interstate 40. Who else is south or east? Well, south. Let's stay with south.
WB9RXK.
Wow. Heard from you in a while, haven't I?
No. Good evening, Paul. It's been about 6 months, I guess, since we've been down here. But I thought I'd check in and say hi. Running
FTM 450 watts. Do a dual band antenna on the truck.
Awesome. So you staying over at your daughter's?
Yeah, we're staying over here in Providence.
Cool. Well, you came down at the right time. It's not hot.
No, it's just about right. It's good weather. Of course, we wintered down in Arizona, Tucson. Just got back 2 weeks ago, so we missed winter.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess. Well, it doesn't. Well, I guess I'm wrong. You're still you have the place in Iowa, right?
Yeah, we're in Northeast Iowa, Clinton.
So you get pretty bad winters up there, don't you?
Yeah, normally they're pretty. It was mild this year. It was extremely mild. They had a couple weeks in January that got to double digits, and it was extremely cold. But after that, why, they turned the furnaces off. It was unbelievably mild.
Yeah, no, we've had relatively mild weather, I think, in the winters, and the summers haven't gotten particularly hotter, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, even down there in Tucson, it was a little bit wetter than usual. I think they had about 3 inches of rain in the 3 months that I was down there, and that was a lot. The first day of April, when we drove out of town, we had they had flood warnings out, and car was going through about 6 inches of water, and that was with about 3/4 of an inch of rain.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've never been in Iowa. I understand it's pretty flat.
Yeah, it definitely is.
This must seem pretty hilly to you coming over here all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's enjoyable. It's a wonderful state to live in.
Yeah, that's good. I don't ever hear anything bad about Iowa. Never. It's always the problems are always in the big states like Florida and Illinois and New York and California.
A lot of people moving out of New York and California. In fact, they're coming down to Arizona where we're at down there, and they're driving the home prices out of sight.
Yeah, so I hear. I saw something about that the other day, and the same thing is true here. Same thing is true in Florida. People want to move to a state where the cost of living is lower and the home prices. Although, if you go to Tampa, where I used to live, you'll have to take an 1,100 square foot concrete block home. That's nothing special. It's what I used to think of as a project home, for subsidized housing. It was just a concrete block home. It might have 1 bathroom and 2 or 3 bedrooms, and maybe a quarter-acre lot, maybe if it's an older house. And that thing will go for close to $400,000.
Oh yeah. We got friends down there, Phoenix, Prescott, that area down there, and the situation they got. So many people are coming down, and they're buying up lots out in the desolate areas, and driving the water table down, and they got brand new homes, and they're hauling their water in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess that partly. Let's see, Arizona. Refresh my memory on the geography. The Rio Grande runs through there, right?
Yeah. You got the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that I was reading about that because the water levels in like in Nevada were really low too, and I said that's really a struggle as populations increase. How are they going to get their water?
Yeah, well, and the Colorado, and they're not getting the water anymore, and they're rationing it out. And, well, like I said, friends of ours got a well, and he said when they first moved there 8 years ago, why it was great. They had all the water they wanted, and now 3 weeks out of the month they've got to haul a tanker of water in because there's so many homes around. They dropped their own wells in there and dropped the water table down. Water is the next issue. the fight over used to be oil. I think water's the next one. Already is.
Yeah, you know, what's funny is I read this, and I'm pretty sure my memory is correct. There was a time in the southern states, and I don't remember if it was one in particular, but they were actually somebody tried to pass a bill in Congress so that they could run piping from the Great Lakes down to the south, just because there wasn't enough water.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a plan in the works. They've avoided it, but they've talked for a long time of pumping water in from the Pacific and bringing it in, and and reclaiming it and making it potable. It's been out of sight before as far as cost is concerned, but I think they're getting to the point where they're starting to consider it.
Yeah, well, one of the difficulties with salt water is it's corrosive, and so you have to have special heat exchangers, and all the equipment has to be ready for that. So it's once it's paid for, it really does. The real costs are in the maintenance and repair for for a desal plant.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, unless we start getting, they've had some improvements. Lake Mead has come up a little bit this year, but they need 4 or 5 years of some really, really good rains to bring the water table back up. And like you say, with people moving out and moving down to that area, and that area we live in, about 12 miles south of Tucson, it's called Green Valley, and there's 40,000 people in this unincorporated area, and there's not a lot that they can build on. They're completely filled up because people are just have moved in. And we tried to buy a house a couple of years ago. We gave that up real quick, like it was just out of sight.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with growth comes all the other problems. Terrible. I've seen it. I saw it in Tampa. I saw it in Miami. I saw it in passing in Atlanta. But here too, here it's gotten kind of out of hand. Anything else for the net, John?
No, that's it, Paul. Thanks for inviting me in. Nice to come back.
Oh yeah, glad you're here. Yep, nice to have visitors. John's has his daughter lives here, and that's Whiskey Bravo 9 Romeo X-ray Kilo. His name is John, and he's normally from either Iowa or Arizona. Think about where he is at the time. He winters in Arizona. Who else is south? Wow, that's noisy. I hear you in there though. Everything all right there, Larry? I didn't copy all that. Somebody got a copy for me?
He said he'd catch you later.
Okay, very good. You have a good one, Larry. That's Larry in Rockville. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. Who else? Yeah, Larry does the D-Star net at 7:15 on Saturday nights on 146.460. So be there if you got D-Star. Who else is where was I? South or east?
KM4YRS.
Oh, I got Michael in there. What is it? Was the arthritis that makes your hands swell up like it, or is it just your joints?
Well, I have rheumatoid arthritis in my hand, and my left hand right here is it's huge, and it does that when I don't have my infusion every month.
Oh, so you have to wait. Oh, you have to wait. So I heard you say you have to wait till May. I got you.
Yeah, I had to be off of it for a month before the surgery and a month after. So I'm kind of anxious to get on with it, like Larry.
Oh wow, yeah, it doesn't sound like fun. But little arthritis I have isn't that bad. I mean, I live with it's more of a discomfort than it is painful for me.
Well, rheumatoid arthritis is painful, and it makes your joints twist and do all that kind of stuff. And the Actimra infusion, it's keeping that or at least it's slowing it down, I hope. But I also have a little bit of osteoarthritis, and the combo is kind of rough to deal with.
Man, what happened to good old just regular arthritis?
I don't know, but I could use some rheumatism medicine.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, some of the ways I used to hear when I was a kid was, "Yeah, he got the sugar."
I've heard that as well.
Yeah, very good. Anything else for the net, Mike?
No, Paul, thank you for doing what you do. And I'll be waiting for see what's next. 144, 240.
Yes, 144-240 upper side main. That was Michael. Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot here in Montreal. Who else is east?
KK5S.
Hello, Carrie. What's up?
Oh, just trying to hang around long enough to get in here tonight.
I just remember, I forgot to mention that we were having a breakfast next Saturday.
Yeah, I went by there this morning.
Say again?
Yeah, I went by there this morning.
Why?
Well, I took the wife by there. We were headed out to go to one of the big nurseries up at off White Creek Pike up there looking for some new plants.
Ah, okay. I thought you meant you went because you thought it was the right day for us, but no, I'm glad you went.
No, we were headed somewhere else and couldn't get in, so that's where we ended up.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's I actually look forward to their food because I don't normally eat that much.
Well, you know, it's not the 5-star restaurant, but it is filling.
Yeah, that's true. We used to say that about the you know, the military food, the food in the Navy. It wasn't the greatest, but when that's all you got, it's great.
I think I had an ex-wife that did that cooking.
Yeah, it's funny. My mother, she gave up. I say they gave up isn't the right word. She did say something to that effect because my father couldn't care less when he, you know, ever. He didn't care less what he ate. He really didn't care. You know, she'd ask, "How did you enjoy the that meal?" He goes, he'd look up and go, "What was it?" He just didn't care. So she said, "I gave up trying to be fancy," and but she did for me though. She did made not she was no gourmet cook by any standards, but she would go out of her way for me. But for my dad, you know, she said she would make fresh coffee, and then she goes, "I gave up." He couldn't tell fresh coffee from instant coffee, so he just started serving him instant coffee.
Yeah, I had one of my exes that did come out of a box. She couldn't make it.
Well, I was married before for 26 years, and again, it was a good marriage for the better part of the time. But um, she never, her mother never cooked, and she never cooked. And then she marries me, and I wasn't forcing her to cook, but I would actually help her. And but she would she'd make instant mashed potatoes. Well, first time she ate at my grandmother's home, and she was just a good old country cook, you know. And we had it was like a Thanksgiving dinner or something like that. And she when we left there, she said that's the best meal I've ever had, and I'm never gonna eat instant mashed potatoes ever. 'Cause that's all she ever had was instant mashed potatoes.
Well, you know, if it works, it works.
Well, they are mashed potatoes, but they're instant and they taste like instant. Okay, real mashed potatoes taste like they're supposed to.
Yeah, I guess that's true way of looking at it.
Anyway, anything else for the net, Kerry?
Not negative, just like I say, just you know, kind of going out there, you know, the new, or I won't say new, but the very that nursery we went to up there, they had more stuff to look at than my wife could look at.
Oh yeah, some of those big nurseries are wild. Well, you've seen the I don't know the name of them, and I've never been on their property, but it looks pretty big. The one that's west of Mount Juliet Road, there on Lebanon Road.
Oh yeah, that's Needham's up there. That was small compared to the place we went today.
Oh wow, that must have been pretty big.
Yeah, it was. I was really surprised at it. There was stuff that, you know, of course, you know, plants are my wife's thing, and there was stuff that she had never seen before up there.
Wow, wow. Where is that one?
It's up off White Ridge Road, White Creek Pike. That's what it was. It's called Bates.
I'll have to give that again. We were looking to buy some stuff. Anyway, nothing for the net, right?
No, that's it. I'm out of here, KK5S.
Very good. That's Kerry and Baird's Mill, Kilo 5 Sierra. Who else is east?
W4NU out.
Hello, how are you, Jimmy?
Doing pretty good, Paul. Just rearranging the shack and doing some other things, and I bought a 19-inch rack to hold the equipment and bought an expensive auto tuner for HF.
Oh, cool. What, for legal limit stuff?
Well, it was going up to 1,500, but you know, I would have an amp that would go high.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter. Which amp do you have?
It's an ACOM 1010. goes to 800 watts.
Oh man, that's plenty.
Yeah, I found out it doesn't need more than about 400 or 500 to get out, you know.
Well, there are those who go crazy and they do, they've got this, $2,000 or $3,000 beam, and they got a legal limit amp, and they got a 200-foot tower. That's when they love the power.
Well, that's on the extreme end. I don't think the people right here would like to put up a 200-foot tower.
No, I understand. I'm just saying that some people really, as you know, they go crazy. They just they got the money to burn and they're having a good time.
Well, more power to them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everything else going okay?
Yes, sir. I'm doing fine. Thanks for doing that.
Oh yeah, I have to, man. I've been doing it for almost 10 years. It's a life sentence.
Yeah, well, you do a really good job, Paul.
All right, I appreciate it. That was Jimmy, Whiskey 4 Mike Uniform Foxtrot, and he's over in the northeast corner of kinda. There isn't really a corner in Mount Juliet, but that's where he is. Who else is east?
KM4HQE.
There was 2 in there, but Stan 1, KM4HQE. Everything all right, Stan?
Well, doing well, Paul. How about you?
Doing, can't get too much. Well, I can get better. You double my Social Security and my other money. I'll be happier.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. How's your the reconstruction project you're working on?
I got too many projects, Paul.
Yeah, I'm with you. I gave up on some of mine, but everything else okay?
Yeah, everything else is pretty good.
You're not looking at anything on that Schulman auction you want?
Nah, I really have too many things already, Paul.
I got you. Yeah, you stay away from that. I know what you're talking about. They had a couple of tape recorders, reel-to-reel tape recorders. They had 2 or 3 of them in there, and I really want to get my hands on one. But already the bidding, I looked the other day on it, was already up at $400 or $500. It's a really high-end tape recorder.
What hell is it?
Which what? What did you say, Stan?
What kind of reel-to-reel was it?
Well, one of them was in a Kai, and the other 2 looked like professional models, and I couldn't tell you the name on them. They were a name I'd never heard of before.
And back in the day, I had a Speeder Revox reel-to-reel, which was a really nice reel-to-reel machine.
Oh, there was some nice back in as they say in the day, back in the 60s, man. There was some, or 70s. There was some really nice reel-to-reel machines, but I never had one.
Yeah, the only one I had was the Speeder Revox. It was a nice machine.
Cool. Anything else for the net, Stan?
No, that's all, Paul. Back to that KM4HQE.
Very good. That's Stan. Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo. Who else? And he's in Lebanon. Who else is east?
KB4 SFN.
Very good. You're almost a stranger. You haven't been here in a while, Tom.
Well, no, it's old man and no memory.
Don't worry about it. I remember when we had as many as 50 on the net. I'm glad we don't have that many anymore.
Well, I used to call it that, or Lebanon Club. I haven't done that in years. I think someone else called it. I can't remember anything now.
No, that's right. It's better that way.
Well, yeah. There's a whole lot less I have to fool with.
Well, the beauty of most people, at least most people I know, is that their memory is questionable as they get older, but at the same time, they remember all the good stuff and they forgot all the bad stuff, or most of it.
Well, for me, my memory's gone bad, and I pretty much don't care.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, I was listening to a song from about 1960 that was popular at that time, and I listened to this song, and it really, how memories, it's not just memories, it's the thought that such a simpler time for music and for it wasn't complicated in the 50s and 60s. Well, at least in the 50s and early 60s, it wasn't complicated, socially, culturally, and it just brought back a mess. I said, man, I wish I could live that way again.
Yeah, you could say what you wanted, do what you wanted, nobody got mad about it.
No, but at the same time, it was a lot more normal interpersonal relations going on. You know, friends and clubs and you know, all kinds of fraternal organizations. And I mean, I remember in our little city there were, oh my gosh, I couldn't even list all the different fraternal and organizations that my mother and my relatives had. You know, from besides the Masons, you know, that kind of stuff. Also, those other fraternal organizations. It's amazing how many there were.
Yeah, I know. I'm a Mason. Gosh, I haven't been out to a meeting in almost 10 years. That's not because I don't want to or have a problem. I just forget.
Yeah, they're a good group, aren't they?
Well, they are, and you know, they don't stand for anything that's bad or support anybody that's bad. You know, it's pretty easy to be in there and not to be offended.
Oh yeah, no, I've always heard good things. I've never been involved with them, but I've always heard good things from them.
All right, gosh, I've been through that, and Scottish Rite and the Shriners too. I even got one of those funny little hats to wear.
Oh yeah, I did some work for the Shriners headquarters there in Tampa. That's where their international headquarters is. And I also did some work in one of their hospitals.
Those hospitals are nice.
Oh yeah, no, they're also a good group of people. The whole thing is neat because it's all, well, except for, you know, some of the paid people. All the rest is all just volunteerism and gathering in funds. You know.
That's what it's about. What you want to do? Have fun.
Yeah. Anything else for the net, Tom? Good to have you in there.
7371 KB4 SFN.
Very good. That's Tom, Kilo Bravo 4 Sierra Foxtrot. November, he's in Martha. Who else is east? Nobody else east? Nobody else east or anywhere? No sandbaggers, lollygaggers, or lurkers?
All the above. 840.
Oh man, you used to check in first. Now you're last.
Yeah, I didn't catch you in time, so I just figured I'd sit here and listen and wait for the end.
No problem. Are you doing all right?
Oh yeah, a little sore, but had a good warm out. Still a antenna work for a fellow ham, and wait a couple antennas up, and hopefully get him on the air here soon.
Cool. Brand new ham?
He was a ham, I think, back years ago, and got out of it, and then here recently got back into it.
Yeah, now the equipment's just more expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
Very good. Anything good for the net there, Mike?
I will say good evening, everybody. Hope you and the family doing very good. Everybody has a safe weekend.
Very good. Mike giving well wishes to all. That was Kilo 4 Victor Alpha. He's in Hendersonville. Who else is any place, anywhere? Lollygaggers, lurkers, sandbaggers, skulkers, flat earthers, etc.
84 VW Carlin, Nato Town Best Face. K1 that's good.
Oh, I drew two out of the woodwork. Hold on there, Scott. How you doing, Carlin?
You must have started in the north, and I must have fell off asleep when you did that.
No, when I started with the north, you didn't answer, and I said, "Wonder what Carlin's doing." Must have fallen asleep.
I sure did. And I don't know how. This thing turned up. It's not, it's normal volume, but I'm sitting right here. I just happened to I don't think it was a sleep. It was kind of a semi unconsciousness or something. I don't know. Yeah, I just happened to realize that there was somebody carrying on the net here all of a sudden. And I thought, well, I think you were at the west when I come back to reality. So I sat here thinking, well, what in the world? Well, okay, you'll come back around to the north, and well, started at the north. Yeah, just sitting there enjoying the net since I woke up. I've heard most of it. I didn't hear the people from the north though, so that's the way it goes, I reckon. I've been busy around here. Got up early this morning, did a lot of cleaning and just general stuff. Opened up the windows in the house, let the outside air blow through the house and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, been diddling. That's about it. And so I don't know. Anyway, how things going your way?
They're going good. I whenever a day goes without any serious problems with me, my wife, or my dogs, everything's good.
That's good. Yeah. Well, I got cats myself. And of course, they think they're starving all the time. You can feed them, and I've got a trough out there that I put the cat food in, and they can eat. And you can come back in. 5 minutes later, you can open the door, and then they hit the door like they've never had a bite of food in their whole life, and whining and bawling, and every one of them way overweight. You know, and I'm like, you know what? You're not getting fed again. Get out of here. Don't find a rabbit. You know. Well, I'll hook you up. There was another check-in in there. I had around about an S. Looks like a S3 on them. I don't know where they were at, but anyway, I'll hook you up, let you get to him, and hope everybody's enjoying the net night. Don't know how cold it's going to get tonight. I did notice it was rather cool out there this afternoon. I wasn't expecting that. So anyway, I don't know if it's going to get down to 40s or not, or where it's going to tonight. But anyway, with that said, toodaloo, hello to everyone tonight. Hope everybody has a good night on the net, and enjoyable tomorrow too. So anyway, KD4VW, and I'm going to turn it back over to you, Paul.
Very good. That was Carlin, Kilo Delta 4 Victor, Uniform Whiskey. He is in the Angeltown, Bethpage area. Who else is? Oh, I heard there. Scott, how are you doing? K1SPD, K4PEW.
Yeah, I'm here. Turn the volume down on the YouTube.
Oh, okay, very good. You doing all right?
Doing wonderful. How about everybody else?
So far, everybody seems to be doing well. We haven't lost anybody recently.
Oh, that's always good news. Everybody's above ground.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, when you hang out with a lot of people that are older, I'll just use that term, older. I don't know what I used to think people my age were really ancient.
My son and I were doing some HF tonight. At the same time, streaming on the phones, talking to each other. And he said, "Listen to these old men up on 80 meter." The conversations that they were having.
Oh yeah, no, it's depends on who you're listening to. I've heard conversations on there that are the one that sticks on my mind because it was funny. All I was doing was listening to it, and it was like on 80 meters. And there was two guys. I was in Florida at the time. I heard these two guys. I'm pretty sure they were in Alabama, Mississippi, you know, one of the southern states. I don't know. And they weren't too far away. And they were, you know, they were regular guys getting on, talking to each other. And they were talking about how they cook their chicken wings. And this conversation went on for a while. Different kinds of ways of cooking chicken wings. Somebody else just jumped in there without ID. He goes, "I can't believe these guys got $10,000 worth of radio and all they're talking about is chicken wings."
Yes, I heard a conversation similar a couple of days ago, and it was down in the extra portion of 20 meter, and they were talking about their $15,000 radios, those icons, and one of them said, "Yeah, I wish I had waited a little bit longer until they discontinued the model, so I could have got it for a couple of thousand."
Yeah, well, again, that's one of those deals. You know, you realize that I think I told that story. That's the guy. His name is John, and he lives in north of Tampa. I don't remember his call now. I can look him up. But he's disabled, and he was he also lived in a home, HOA. It couldn't have antennas or a tower, obviously. And he had, with help, because he was quite paraplegic. He couldn't walk. He was in a wheelchair all the time. So he had help putting up a vertical antenna in a tree and an antenna, like a loop that he ran around his yard and a fence. And he might have had something else, but I don't think it was much. He managed to do 10,000 contacts in 1 year. 10,000. I'm pretty sure it was 10,000. 10,000 contacts in 1 year. using minimal antennas in a regular, $1,500 radio.
Yeah, well, I guess location has lots. Well, parameters are insanely large there. I'm happy with what I've got. Too much into radios, and very little into antennas. I worked Easter Island today on 10 meter. That was a pretty good catch.
I think that was the one where they had a what do you call it there? Oh shoot, can't get the right name. Isn't there a group that's over there on purpose for that Easter Island event?
Yeah, the expedition. Yep. And I wasn't even looking for anybody. I saw the activity on the scope, and my gosh, he was coming in real strong, and said my signal was about the same there. But I was waiting on the fellow to quit his QSO about the four-wheel drives and his 12,000-pound and 15,000-pound winches that he has on all of his vehicles down there in Queensland and Australia. And I wanted to try to work him, but he was a long-winded Aussie.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's funny how a place like Easter Island, because it's not in the middle of the Pacific, but it's out there. That gets out pretty good if they've got a good antenna. Really over the ocean, it's awesome.
Yep, and very all the information was on the QRZ page, and it had several setups, so I forget what all they were using, but they had it under control there. All right, carry on. I've got nothing else. K1SPD.
Yeah, congrats on Easter Island. That was Scott, Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta. By the way, that 10,000 was in mixed. It was voice, CW, and digital at the time, it wasn't as much digital as we have now, which is available, those modes. But yeah, 10,000, it figures out it's like 30, that would be about 30, 35 a day on average, which isn't that much, but he was disabled, so that's what he did during the day. Anyway, anybody else out there? No lollygaggers, lurkers, flat earthers, moon landing deniers? Please come now.
KG4 Leslie.
Which one you identifying as, Kevin?
Let's go with lizard people.
Oh, I left those out because those are special.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like that. They're partial to me today.
You doing okay, Kevin?
Yeah, doing pretty good. I heard something a little bit frightening just a minute ago whenever you said that you used these. Ain't nobody dead yet, or you was judging the day by how many people had died today. And I guess that was a good number that you gave out, but that's not a very good sound way of asking or telling people that there was no death today or everything's fine. I think you might could have used a better term.
Oh yeah, no, I was using like a backwards term there, because it really is. That's one of the. It's so funny, not funny, haha. It's just interesting how humans respond to a death in the family, or a death even in the extended family, or death of a local ham you may know, and you go. It always hits you hard because then you realize there's a lot of good days out there.
Yeah, but you're talking to the wrong audience about death. And as you said just a minute ago, you got a lot of old people out here, and they're on the top step. So
Well, it was like that one comedian who recently passed away. He said that his family was so, because they were Jewish. That's number one. So they were consumed with death and bad things. And he says they were so consumed with death, they had at the local funeral home, they had an on-deck circle for his family.
Oh, mercy, goodness, stop it.
No, it's just funny how it's inevitable, man. It's one per customer.
Yeah, you only get one chance around, and you got to make the best of it. Well, I guess I'll meet y'all around there on 2 sidebands. 2 meter sideband is what I was trying to say. I couldn't even spit that out.
Oh, I'm with you. All right, well, very good. That was Kevin. Kilo Go for Mike, India Zulu. He's in Lebanon. He's pretty much runs at university over there around the corner from his house. Who else? Anybody else before we run over to 144-240? Nobody. Very good. We had 23 check-ins, and that was very good. Appreciate all the check-ins. was 20. If somebody was keeping track, there was one early check-in. That's why it's not 22, it's 23. We're going over to 144.240. We'll see you there momentarily. We're here on 144.240. This is K4PEW looking for check-ins from the north. Please come now. Very good. We've got Carlin, Kilo Delta 4 Victor Uniform Whiskey. Good signal. And Beth Page. Who else is north?
WB0 and OL.
No, you got too big a signal, man. You're making everybody look bad, Mark. That was Whiskey Bravo 0 November. Oscar. Who else is north? I don't hear any more. Is there somebody else out there? Over to the west.
KG4 LV.
Sound great there, Jack. I tell you, it's so much. Yeah, why do we do FM nets, man?
I don't know.
No, I'm just saying that the upper sideband works so well locally. That was Kilo Golf for India Lima Victor. He's in Donaldson. Who else is west?
Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo.
Very good. You sound good there, Greg. That's Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. Who else is west? And he's in Antioch. Who else is west? Anybody else west? South? South, come now. Tony fell asleep. Go over to the east. Please come now.
KM4 YRF.
Very good. We got Michael, Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot here in Mount Juliet. Who else is east? Kilo Golf 4 Mike India Zulu. Sounds good there, Kevin. He's in Lebanon. Who else is east?
KK5L.
Okay, I had 2 in there. Kilo 5 Sierra. Not Kilo, but Kilo 5 Sierra. Carrie in Baird's Mill. And I heard Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo. That's Stan. So you have a good signal as well, Stan. In Lebanon. Who else is east? All right, over to the, well, we already finished north. All right, any place, anywhere?
K1SPD from Sarah.
Ah, very good. That was Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta with a good signal from Laverne. That's where he's from. It's escaped me for the moment. Good signal, by the way. Anybody else? Any place, anywhere? All righty. I don't know how many we had, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 10 people in there tonight on 144.240 under pretty good conditions. Am I missing anyone? Anybody, any place? All right, I'm going to move over to, what do you call it? 6 meters, 50.135. We'll see you there. I'm here on 50.135. This is K4PEW with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net on 150.135. Who else is out there on 6 meters? Please come now from, I'll just say from the north. We'll start that way. All right, Mark, we got you in there. There's somebody else. That's Mark in Northwest Wilson. Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar. Who else is north? Very good. Good to have you in there, Danny. Kilo Delta 4 Golf Oscar November with a good signal. Who else is north? Anybody hearing anything north?
Nope.
Who else is west? All right, I got 2. Kilo Charlie 4 Oscar Tango Victor Joel west of Ashland City, and Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. That's Craig in Antioch. Who else? They're both with good signals, by the way. Who else is west? You're going to get a better antenna up higher there, Jack, because even Joel is killing you. No big deal. If you want to, we'll do something. Just let me know. That was Jack, Kilo Golf for India Lima Victor. I don't think I'd spend too much money on a net that we do for 4 minutes once a week. Well, he's in Donaldson. Who else is the west? Anybody hearing anything?
Nope.
Hear some background talking way back there. From the south, then. Very good. Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta. That's Scott and Laverne. A full copy, but signal is really, really low. I'm glad I was wearing headphones. I might not be able to hear it. Who else is, and it's, yeah, Scott and Laverne, Kilo 10 Papa Delta. Who else is south? South or east?
That'd be fine, yeah.
Very good. We got Whiskey 4 Mike Uniform Foxtrot. That's Jimmy here in Mount Juliet. A good signal. Who else is east?
KM4 to YRF.
We got Michael, KM4YRF. Here in Mount Juliet. Who else? All right, we got Mike. We got Kevin, KG4MIZ. But a good signal. Anybody else? And he's in Lebanon. Who else is any place anywhere? Very good. You make number 11 there, Stan. Very good. He's good signal. Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo in Lebanon. Who else? Any place, anywhere, please come down. Lollygaggers, lurkers, and sandbaggers. No lizard people this time. All righty, we ended up with 11. There was 10 on 2 meters and 11 on the upper side, on 6 meters. So we're doing pretty good. I think it's a good night, really. We're better than average recently. We're moving right over to 223, 415, for those of you got them. And I hope you can sometime. We have such a good time on 223. It's our secret frequency. So we'll see you over there. K4P Day. And I'm closing out the net so we can be off air. And I appreciate you guys on Facebook. And I'm closing out the what do you call it? YouTube. We'll see you later. K4PEW. Have a big night. K4PEW is looking for. I don't want no more check-ins. No, whoever's out there, please come in. Ah, very good. Got you in there good, Danny. And I got you in there good too, Carlin. That's KD4VW. And I'll get Danny's call right. KD4G. That's Kilo Delta 4 Golf Oscar November. Who else is any place? We had a double in there, but we had K1 SPD, a Scott in Laverne, and we had KD4 CVE, Greg in Laverne. Are you able to copy each other on from Laverne? And I would think you could.
We double, so it's hard to say.
Oh, I mean, normally you could hear him. Huh? Scott, you're able to hear Greg?
No, not tonight.
Okay, very good. Of course, you got a beam, don't you?
Yeah.
No, I understand. I just nothing wrong with it. It's just it helps you avoid some directions, obviously. Anyway, who else we got out there besides myself? And we got Carlin in Bethpage. We got Danny in what do you call it, Cottontown area, and we got Scott and Laverne and Greg in Antioch. Who else? All right, we got Stan over there in Lebanon, Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo, and let's see who else was in there. Was there somebody else in there? Very good. Kilo Oscar 4 Oscar Tango Victor. Big signal out of West Ashland City. Who else?
KM4 YRF.
And we are killing it tonight. Who else besides Michael? KM4YRF here in Mount Juliet.
AG4 LB.
Very good. Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor. Now, there's too many in tonight. You're going to have to leave, Jack.
I'll leave the rear.
Where do we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Where's Greg from Pleasant View? He said he'd be back. All right, is anybody else in there? Yes, but we had another one, Jimmy, Whiskey 4 Mike Uniform Foxtrot. Good to have you in there, Jimmy. what did I just say that made? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 of us in there tonight. Like a banner night. Very good. Anybody else? Please come now. Well, we may have tapped it out, but that's a big number, 11. I can't believe I don't think we, Jack, did we ever have 11?
To my knowledge,
Boy, I'm calling the media.
you got to vote it in.
I'm telling you, man, we got to call this into the. If there was, do they have a section of the paper that's or the news that's attributed to ham radio 220?
Sure they do.
They'll take anything, obviously, if you watch any local news.
I think it's their biggest night ever.
Yeah, that's 10 people in. That's amazing. How is propagation for? Hold on one second. How is